like the current manga, if it is followed, Boruto would be a great show. Hi everyone and welcome back again to my channel. We're going to go to 10 anime series on everyone drop list, and so let's get going. I also have a drop list and I want to see if I'll find anything in here. Rent a girlfriend failed to reinvent the RM wheel. Oof, it's an interesting start. So the thing with Rent a Girlfriend is I've not actually watched the anime. I've been reading it, and I have paused reading it because I want the manga to finish so that I can finish reading the whole thing. And with that, yes, there is point where I almost dropped it because I'm like the plot takes way too long to get going, and for a rom-com it takes way too long. It's like it's a battle shonen where we have to build up the final boss in multiple, I don't know, chapters and stuff like that. But this I understand, but this one is getting outrageous. And if the anime follows the same pace as the manga, oof, but it's in itself. I think it's a good show. It's a good manga. I can't speak about the show. So if I was the animators, I would probably have tried to condense it a bit more instead of allowing it to be fleshed out. Yeah, I think the pacing is the main issue, but the cliches and all of those, I don't think it's a real issue. I think people like to throw it as an excuse for why it's bad or they don't like it, but in reality, I think it's part of the genre. If you've watched a certain amount of animes, you reach a point where there'll be a lot of animes you'll be able to predict, but it doesn't mean they're less enjoyable, if you get me. Number 9, the 7 deadly sins downfall should be studied. This one, I believe people would probably have dropped it because I think animation quality dropped. I think they just lost the plot at some point. And even the manga in itself sort of lost the plot and it started feeling rushed toward the end. So much so that the end is sort of not making sense. But I'm glad that there is a follow up, which is what is it? The Four Horsemen or something, which looks like it's given the proper time and the quality that it deserves. So, Seven Deadly Sin sort of was rushed and everything. But this one, yes, I would put it on my drop list because I finished the manga. I'm not going to go back watch the anime. Maybe I should, um, because I also want to watch the new one, but I'll probably do it at some point. So next, the Promised Neverland of a sequel no one needed. Okay, I've not watched it. I do not know. I don't even knew that there was a sequel. So Sword Art Online was all the rage back in the 2010. I finished Sword Art Online. I liked it. So yeah, there was some parts that were necessary. And okay, wait, and should I say I finished? I didn't finish. I did not finish. I have not watched the newer stuff, the Alicization, or whatever that is. It's actually in plan for me to watch, but I watched everything that was out at the time when I watched Sword Art Online, and I finished everything. There's newer stuff that I've not gotten around to watching, so in my case, it did not dropped. Should I say, do I think people dropped it? In truth, actually, for me, I think there's way too much Sword Art Online than it needs to. The first season was great. The following seasons were good. Uh, I think the stakes were less than the first one, but I need to watch the second seasons. And but I've not dropped Tokyo Ghoul. I've not watched it at all, and I think they were fans of it. And I don't think people who've watched it dropped it, or anyone who started it as well. There's always someone who's going to drop a show. That's a fact. But in terms of ratio, I think yes, they were probably did not like. I think how they handle the anime. I'm sure of it versus the manga, but I don't think it is dropped. Fairy Tail failed to enter the big league. This is my personal take. I've never believed that Fairy Tail was trying to enter the big league, as in trying to be part of the big trio. The thing with Fairy Tail is it's you like it or you hate it. Well, the thing with Fairy Tail is that there's that Nakama power. But for me, I like Fairy Tail because of the adventure more than anything. The fight, you know how it's going to go. You know 100% how the fight is going to go. Fights the boss, gets defeated the first time, feel powerless, and then you go fight again. Speech, Nakama power, and then you defeat the enemy. But it's more of the exploring the world, going on adventure. That's the one thing I liked about Fairy Tail, and I am still reading. I've watched the whole Fairy Tail, and I saw that they have the thousand year, no thousand. What am I saying? The 100 year quest. What is it? The 1,000 year quest? The 100 year quest. That is, which is like a sequel that I've started, so I will watch it also. I don't think this was dropped. I think people like to it's on Fairy Tail, but in the secrets they are watching Fairy Tail. They've watched Fairy Tail. They finished Fairy Tail. So that's time I got reincarnated as a slime season 3 boat fan with its long speeches. I've watched it. I don't. That's not really correct. Let's be honest here. I think because I think season 3 is more of a lore dump more than anything, and it's trying there's less fast fight than previous seasons and less flashy fight than previous seasons, but it's also sort of a necessary step for what is coming. So for me, I did not drop it. I'm reading that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and I've watched up to I think season or the most recent season, and no, I did not. It did not give me the feeling of dropping it. So I really don't think this is accurate. Tower of Gods Fall from Grace will haunt fans. I am also reading Tower of Gods, and there's a lot of chapters, and the anime did not do justice to the manga. So for most of these things, I really don't understand. It's most of them are not on my drop list. Let's be honest here. So, and your title says everyone stopped watching, and for all animes, there will be someone that will stop watching. Facts. Drop it. Not pause it, come back. No, drop it. For almost every anime, there will be that one person. But the stuff on this list, I do not see that's happening. Like, and Tower of God is, I think, I don't know, it's animators. I don't know. The manga is well, it's a manhwa. It's great. And this is my perspective. Is I when I watch certain animes, like Tower of God, and I realize, for example, let's say I'm not aware of it, and I see what Tower of God season 2 is coming, and the first season came, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, maybe 10 years ago. I can't remember, but the first season came, and then I go and I check that the manga is still ongoing or the manhwa is still ongoing, and it's like 500 chapters, and anime is not following, keeping up the pace. I mean, why would I commit myself into watching an anime that I know I'm not going to know the end, especially if it gets interesting? I'm not going to know the end. Why would I do that? And especially with this gap between seasons, you don't know if it's cancelled or not. So, like you can do that for certain animes, especially with animes with low stakes. But for this kind of animes, if it gets you involved, you would wonder why would I do that to myself? Especially because manhwa, or is it webtoon? Like those things, sort of, they're drawn in color, and then it's you can just go read the thing instead of watching the anime that is also not doing justice to the full story. So although I think everyone that watched it full reached the end, and except I'm sure if I remember correctly, I've not watched season 2 when I have watched season 1. I think season 2 maybe they're talking about bad animations, but Boruto just couldn't bring back the OG charm. I start watching Boruto? No. Yes, Naruto, great show. I When they announced Boruto, I didn't think Boruto was going to catch up to Naruto. Yes, I think I remember I did start Boruto, and this is probably the one show I dropped. But I'm reading the manga, and I have to confess that it's the choices that they made in the anime that may have made people drop. Like the current manga, if it is followed, Boruto would be a great show. But also trying to rely on Naruto's success to establish Boruto, that's also a bad move. Like, I think they should have chosen a different planet. Let's think about it together. Naruto is done, the ninja war is over, and they defeated Kaguya and they live happily ever after. You could have created like a not a Boruto, Naruto, the next step, which would be just like OVAs of 5, 10 episodes max, just showing Naruto and his family, Naruto after the Great War, what happened to Sasuke, what happened to the people, and everyone, what happens in the other village, and put an end to it there. Done. And then now, because you've introduced the Otsutsukis as aliens, you go now on another planet because these people are moving from planet to planet, sucking the life out of it to create their fruits. So you could have taken another place and established it as the not really the sequel, but another manga that is in the same universe as Naruto, but you now don't have to use Naruto as your basis for the next show, but you are using the Otsutsuki's as the basis of your show. And now in this other world, could have said there's also someone who brought chakra to that world if you want, or some other technology, whatever it is. But in that world, there was a guy called Boruto. Boruto was, I don't know, failed to, no, Tsutsuki failed to take control of his body or something, but that's where it should have happened. Not using a Naruto and then making them look bad in the show. And but in any case, I'm rambling. I'm rambling. Let's go to the next one. And number one, Uzumaki spiral into horror crash after its first great episode. I've not watched it. I think what most people said about it is that the quality of the anime severely decreased after the first few episodes. So, but I can't comment that. But I really don't know much about it. So yeah, should I be rating this? I would be, because the premise is that I'm very sure for every show there is at least one person in the whole world who has dropped it. I will give a minimum score of 3, because there is probably that one person who has all this anime in his drop list. And some of them, it's just one of them. Some of them watch season 1 and 2 and then maybe dropped because the season 3 took time to come back and they're not going to go back to it because maybe it's not their thing. So why would you go back and rewatch other season before you start another season because you forgot? So that's also another thing. And for some others, it's just not their genre. So if I was to give a score to this, I would put it at 4, purely because for me, the only one I could say I actually dropped would be Boruto. But I'm still reading the manga, so. And some I did not watch, and the rest I don't agree with. I don't think they should be on this list. So that's it. With that, we are done with this one. Thank you very much, and we'll see each other in the next one. Bye bye.